There had already been a terrible war in Europe in the 90s. In Yugoslavia, 100,000 dead. But the Europeans explained Yugoslavians really aren't Europeans. Why did the Russians invade Georgia? They didn't really care about Georgia. It wasn't that Putin hated Saakashvili. Everybody hated Saakashvili. But that wasn't it. The United States had staged a series of colored revolutions throughout the Russian periphery, one of which was in the Ukraine, the Orange Revolution. And the Russians saw in this Orange Revolution the intent of the Americans to destroy the Russian Federation. Why else would the United States be underwriting groups to demonstrate? It also returned Europe, or at least part of it, to the recognition that the Russian question had not been settled. It had simply been posed in a new and different way.
What's next for Ukraine?
Well, the first question you ask yourself, are you a Ukrainian speaker or a Russian speaker? Because Ukraine contains both. And while the idea of the Russian speakers genuinely wanting autonomy because they have been mistreated by the Ukrainian speakers is dismissed, it's also true. The point is that the United States is prepared to create a cordon sanitaire around Russia. Russia knows it. Russia believes that the United States intends to break the Russian Federation. Either way, we are back in the old game. I expected Russia to begin disintegrating around 2020. The primordial interest of the United States, over which for a century we have fought wars, the First, Second Cold War, has been the relationship between Germany and Russia, because united they are the only force that could threaten us, and to make sure that that doesn't happen. For Russia, the status of Ukraine is an existential threat. And the Russians cannot let go. The issue to which we don't have the answer is, what will Germany do? So the real wild card in Europe is that as the United States builds this cordon sanitaire, not in Ukraine but to the west, and the Russians try to figure out how to leverage the Ukrainians out, we don't know the German position. So how does this play out? Well, the US has already put its cards on the table. It is the line from the Baltics to the Black Sea. For the Russians, their cards have always been on the table. They must have at least a neutral Ukraine, not a pro-Western Ukraine.